Hi, welcome to my first online art tutorial. My name's Kate. I have a business called Bare Naked Studios. So in that, my job is to help people to get in touch with their creative spirit. I think that everyone has one. I think as humans, we're meant to be creative, we're meant to share our thoughts and our feelings in a creative way with each other. It's very important that we use that energy somehow, whether it be dancing or singing or writing, any way that you can be creative. It's really good for the soul and the mind and the heart. So in these times of COVID, we're sort of stuck at home, and so we don't have access to expensive art materials or spaces, and that's fine. So really, I believe you have to, in everything in life, start where you are with what you have. So I'm just using an exercise book, and just this is called a graphite stick, which is like a lead pencil, a coloured blue pencil, and a texter, like a marker. And I've chosen some objects that I've found around the place, just at home. This is a little succulent I have on my windowsill. This is a banana. Any bit of fruit will do, really, or vegetable for that matter. And I've got a cute little vintage camera here that I used to use. But they're interesting shapes to draw. So what I want you to do in this drawing exercise is to draw with your left hand. Now, I know that's going to freak you out, but the point of this is, right, when you draw with your left hand, you are taking it out of context, you're taking it out of your comfort zone, and you're accessing a part of your brain that you wouldn't normally use, okay? So obviously if you're left-handed, you're going to swap this to your right hand for the same result. When you draw or do anything creative with your left hand, you're accessing your right brain. Now, your right brain is where your creativity and your intuition lies. So we're opening up neural pathways that we wouldn't normally use, okay? So that's good for you. And when you're drawing with the left hand, what I want you to do is to make it a contour drawing, which is a drawing that you leave your pencil over the page and keep it moving. So it's going to look loopy and it might look a bit messy, but that's okay. Crucial thing to point out here is this is an exercise in the doing. It's not about the end result, okay? So it's about enjoying the process. More on that later. I'm going to start with my little succulent here. So I will just keep this pencil moving over the page as I draw my little succulent. If this is like really freaking you out, often perfectionists find this hard to do because they're out of control a bit, and that's a good thing, right? Getting out of your comfort zone is a good thing. I like drawing with my left hand because it feels like, in some ways, I'm getting away from my own style, and sometimes it feels like someone else did it, and that can be a good thing for an artist. You get sick of your own style. Sometimes I find if I'm stuck on a drawing or a painting and I just keep doing the same thing over and over, I'll just switch hands, and then I see something that I didn't see before. The observation changes. So I'm just kind of trying to draw this quickly as well. You don't want to think too much about it. I feel like overthinking is the enemy of art, right? So it should come from here, not here, when you're drawing or painting or producing anything creative. So here is my quick little take on windowsill succulent. So yes, as I said, crucial. This is not about the end result. It doesn't matter what your drawing turns out to look like. Don't beat yourself up about it. But I'm not too bad, my little left-handed succulent. See how it's got like a childlike aspect to it, sort of wobbly? It's good. You can't really do it with your right hand because for me, I know sort of what I'm doing with my right hand. And anyway, don't get that childlike naivety. Next thing I'm going to do is my banana. So I'm going to turn my page to landscape because I'm going to draw it across like that. So, and I'm going to use, still left hand, I'm going to use my blue pencil. So we're going to start one end of the banana and go around. The thing about drawing from life like this is the observation. When you're drawing, you've got to look at something in a whole different way than if you were drawing, say, from a 2D flattened image, like a photograph. It's a whole new thing. That's sort of already compressed for you, a photograph. Whereas when you draw from your life, you've got to see it in a different way. You've got to do those decisions. You've got to make it a 2D image, which is what you're doing when you're drawing. So a lot of art is a practice in a way of seeing our eyes are so good, we can see everything. We can almost see too much. Your job as an artist is to decide what's important to portray. So when you're drawing with your left hand as well, you'll probably find that you are observing more, and that's a good thing. I would say 80% looking at the object that you're drawing and 20% looking at your page. You'll get a better result that way. And trust yourself, trust yourself to draw. What do you see? All these little discolorations on this lovely banana. Anyway, there we go. There's my wonky blue banana. Not too bad. Next thing I'm going to do is my vintage camera, and I'm actually going to get a bit of not lined, so slightly better paper. This is just some cartridge paper from a sketchbook, and I'm going to use my marker, my pen. It's like a double-sided texture. Just this side I'm going to use. It's got a bit of variation there. All right, so I find it hard drawing straight lines, particularly with my left hand, so see how we go. I wanted to say as well about what I was saying about the process. This is all about the process, not the end result. I find a lot of artists maybe have this thought as well. When I've done a painting or a drawing, no matter how long it took me, the end result is often a bit of an anticlimax when it's finished. I sort of look at it and think, oh, well, that's it. That's what all that led to. And it's good. I enjoy looking at something and I'm proud of it. But then it's a bit like, oh, well, there's no fun in that. The fun was in the doing. And I actually, interestingly, listened to a podcast the other day where a writer was saying this. Someone said, oh, how amazing it must feel when you walk into a bookshop and there's your book that you've written and it's in print there and, someone can buy it. And he said, yeah, amazing, proud moment, but not as exciting as you'd think. It's a bit like, oh, there it is, that was that. So it's almost like job done, next, what else do I get to create now? So the fun is in the process, in the doing, much less about the results. So I'm going okay here with my vintage camera. What you want to try and do when you're drawing is note where things are in relation to other things. That's the key. So I note that the lens sits lower on the page than the bottom of the casing. And so that's how I'm going to draw that. Just little things to consider. And I'm not too concerned about the tone at the moment, like the shadows. I'm just sort of trying to draw outlines just to get this image down. This is going okay. I'm going to do something else with this as well. I'll show you. Isn't this fun? Okay, so this is my vintage camera. It's okay. I'm going to add to this drawing now. So with the watercolor pencils that I've got, I'm going to do a little bit of color to give it a bit more sort of va-va-voom, so to speak. I'm going to color in the darker parts on the casing, the black, with this sort of sage green. I'm then going to add the shiny steel bits with like a lighter apple kind of green. And then I'm going to draw some highlights on it with the pink. Watch this. So I'm just going to do it really quick. Not too much thought going into this either. And you'll be surprised at how well this kind of thing works. Yeah, another two. There we go. And my green. And a pink. So pink where the little highlighted parts are. Isn't this fun? I think so. Alright, so that's my little bit there. And I'm just going to add the water to it. You kind of just smudge it all in, all around. I really am in my element here. I hope you're enjoying. See, it doesn't take much. It's just little bits and pieces. There you go. Oh, wait. Done. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you next time. Bye.